Hey, before we start recording, check it out. It's a new watch. Hey, y'all, popping in here to tell you about a new partnership with Original Grain Watches. Original Grain, you can save over $100 with Original Grain. They're running a $100 off Black Friday sale, but you can use the code FARMER to get an extra 10% off. Original Grain Watches, their watches are made out of all sorts of materials. I'm going to tell you my favorite. Jack Daniel's collection, Original Grain. I love JD. It's probably my favorite collection that Original Grain has. Go get you a Jack Daniel's collection Original Grain watch. Get you an Original Grain watch, whether it's for your boyfriend, your husband, your uncle, the cousin that you might not even like. Whatever their interests are, they're going to like an Original Grain. Original Grain, you can save over $100 with Original Grain. They're running a $100 off Black Friday sale, but you can use the code FARMER to get an extra 10% off.
Hey, my name's Adrian Grenier. You're listening to Like a Farmer.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Like a Farmer, powered by AgAmerica Media. Today, right outside of Austin, Texas, with, as some of y'all might know, Vinny Chase with Entourage. I know him as Adrian Grenier. Adrian, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited, and when people hear that, they're going to be like, you got Vinny Chase on the show. And before we get into, and you're doing a bunch of cool stuff, especially on the land that's right here behind us. I appreciate you letting me into your homestead here in Texas, but can we just start real quick on how it felt to be Vinny Chase and Entourage? Sure. I mean, growing up, that's what everybody wanted.
I know, it's a strange thing. You know, I always say, me too. Like, I also wish that I was Vinny. But at the end of the day, I had to hang up my hair and go home and just be me. You know, it was a fun ride to film the show and to create the fantasy. But, you know, it's play acting, you know, and in real life, there are consequences. In real life, there are hangovers.
It might not seem like that on the show.
On the show, we get away with everything. You can't get away with that in real life.
Can we see, or possibly we'll be able to see, like a remake of Entourage? Or
highly unlikely.
Yeah,
highly unlikely. I mean, the barriers to get something like that done. We're all aged men at this point, and who's going to finance it? Also, I feel like that show had a very specific period of time in which it could have been made. I don't know how it would be made in this day and age. People are very PC, very sensitive. Yeah, but without the proper trigger warnings, it might make airtime.
You're spot on, and that actually leads to kind of one of the main reasons why I wanted you on the show is what you're doing today. In the farming, the agriculture space, the rural America space, you and I were talking off camera a little bit, like why we decided to do this show. When you think about our pillars, sports, I mean, sports is bringing everybody together these days. Country music, I mean, music as a whole is changing, but everybody seems to be getting into country music. There's not a more important time right now than what people want to know what they're eating and who's growing it. And then you have outdoors, farming, hunting, fishing. Everybody wanted to get outdoors after COVID happened. And I've always been really bullish in the fact of every time I get on here to speak about rural America and that lifestyle or agriculture as a whole, it's a very bipartisan object.
For me, that's spot on. It's about sovereignty, taking responsibility for oneself. You know, I've been in sustainability and healthy living for a long time, but it's been in the hearts and mind and the media side. It's in legislation. It's in nonprofit. It's a lot of this abstract. There's a bit of distance from the thing, and always looking to someone else to make a change so that I can live a better life. Looking for the corporation or the government to do the right thing, as opposed to just saying, well, let me just remove the middleman and let me just do it myself. Can I get closer to my greatest goal? Can I get closer to a healthy lifestyle by being in charge of where my food is coming from? To have the skill set to be able to take responsibility and let and take care of my family and my neighbors in my neighborhood, and let it branch out from here versus outside in.
And now, do you see where we are today? Is this more of a, like you said, a family friend neighborhood type of operation, or are you trying to maybe scale this to kind of change the view of what food is in America?
I'm finding that there's a huge learning curve. I'm from New York, so I don't. Did you hear the accent, by the way? I said New York.
Yes.
I heard it. It was like, oh, who's here? I say y'all now, but I still have the New York accent to go along with it. I'm really humbly learning. This is an apprenticeship that I have with Mother Nature, and there's so much that I didn't grow up knowing or learning. And I mean, there was a survival, but it was a different kind of survival. And so I'm learning, from soup to nuts. I'm learning tractor work, earthworks, how to grow things, how to really it's create the conditions in which things grow. It's not just you're not growing. It's not something that you do. You really just are working in partnership with nature. So learning how to grow things, harvesting, diversity. How do you create enough diversity so that the system itself starts to become resilient and starts to support itself, as opposed to always having to add external inputs. And then how do you do it so that it is healthy? So you're not using a lot of chemical fertilizers or pesticides. So I'm just right now in a learning phase. It's been 3-4 years, almost 4 years now that we've been living here. I have my laboratory right over here, just yonder. And that's where I'm.
Yonder. I love that. Just yonder.
And we have a number of different things that we're growing and learning how to grow before we expand onto the entire property. Because to just do this little bit is hard enough. And it's not just the food, it's not just the pollinators and the herbs, and we do have some grapevines growing. We want to make some wine as well. We have the bees and the insects and the animals. It's also community and fabric human beings, because you can't do this alone in isolation. And I think that's one of the challenges that people face, is they feel isolated from the rest of the world. So I don't know, I mean, you may know more than me, but a lot of people want to go live off the grid. So they want to leave the city life, and then they find themselves having to do absolutely everything, and it just becomes overwhelming. And then suddenly, it's not an enjoyable lifestyle. It's a grind. It's hard to make ends meet. Then you're just up with the sun, and you're grueling in the hot days all day long. And it's the one thing goes wrong, and you lose a crop. You're working on small margins, and then you're decimated, and you're in a tight spot. So I'm looking to not only live a homestead lifestyle for me and my family, but also to bring in enough people so that we're a small tribe that are all contributing into this this system here, so that we all don't have to work that hard.
I think you're spot on, and it really, I think you've seen it, and that's part of my main job, is to let everybody else see it. It just gives your appreciation of who the farmer actually really is, and the 24/7, day in, day out that they have to do to feed the country.
Absolutely. I say that all the time when I do interviews. I just say, I was so arrogant and so ignorant when I was preaching sustainability and organic. We have to make sure that they have the resources and the support system so that they're not reaching for the glyphosate, that they're not reaching for these shorthands from Monsanto, or, they're doing things that take maybe a little bit more effort, a little bit maybe more labor intensive, but that's what nature is asking for. That's what nature wants, is our effort and wants up the participation.
That actually brings me, before, I want to start from the beginning. I mean, you were born in New Mexico, but you ended up in New York at an early age. But before I get there, I want to play a game, and it's called Taking Home Tacovas, presented by Tacobas, obviously. And what that means is I'm going to ask you one question, and most people, when they see who Adrian is, they think Vinny Chase immediately. Like I said, I'm never going to forget that. I mean, most people, especially guys the ages of, I probably started watching 16 to 25, they wanted to be Vinny Chase. What is something that nobody knows about Adrian Grenier?
I'm a mean harp player. Blues harp. I was going to say harpsichord. Harmonica.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where'd you learn that trade from?
In New York City. When, you ride on the train a lot, right? And it's kind of boring, especially before cell phone. You got no, you're just sitting there for hours, going from one place to the next. And you're underground. But the tunnels have a really beautiful resonance, and so there's a lot of echoings, recurring. You're singing, the people are just like bells out of chin, but a harmonica sounds beautiful inside a subway.
I love that.
And by the way, it's easy, you just throw it in your pocket.
That's something nobody knew about you, and why I do this, and I'll call it Taking Home Tacobas, because these actually, right here, are for you.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Yeah.
I got it.
Gotcha.
I win.
So, what size boot are you, by the way?
10 and a half? Or so?
Look at that. 10 and a half.
Nice.
You gotta love that about Google. You can find anything about anybody, because we were stressed a little bit. Obviously, here in Austin, Texas, you have to see our friends, but to go.
And in New York, it's a very ego-based lifestyle. It's status. But in order to survive that, you have to really put on a tough outer shell and build an ego and a toughness. And so I started to find the identity that I'm a New Yorker and I'm proud of it and I'm tough. So then I started to rationalize the whole existence. It wasn't until I got to my mid to late 40s that I was like, there's something more for me. I didn't have a family. I was sort of just continuing the same thing. I was like in a death spiral or something. And I realized I need to get out of the city and connect. I need to ground myself closer to nature. And it's not just going to Central Park, right? It's like something much more important. And so after like 2 years of deep introspection and meditation, some spiritual growth, I realized I needed to leave my circumstances and extract myself. And when I did, it was like a weight had been lifted. And I realized this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm really here on this planet to do, is this work the earth, build community, have a family.
God, you were locked in now.
Yeah.
I mean, in New York, was it acting? I mean, you did music, you did acting. Was there any other sports? Is there ever sports involved?
No sports. I was too timid and
Good looking to do sports.
I don't want to lose my jobs. It's my money.
Yeah.
No, I was frankly I was just a little bit too much of a mama's boy. I was like too sensitive, and I excelled much more in acting, where it's all about the feelings, and it's a little softer, more contemplative experience where you're appreciated and you're applauded for being sensitive and emotive, whereas in sports you get your ass beat.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
So there's no crying in me.
Yeah.
There's crying on the stage, So I was a good crier. And I did well in acting, although I didn't really want to be an actor. I was more into filmmaking and music, but I just had a talent for it and managed to. It's a more lucrative opportunity for me.
And you went to college you went to Ford College, is that correct?
For film, yeah.
Okay, for film.
Yeah.
And then did you just drop out and move to LA? Is that how that works?
No, I dropped out and moved back to New York.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I never left New York, technically.
Gotcha.
I just would go to LA if I needed to be in LA for jobs, and then I'd go home back to Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn when I was all my 20s.
What gave you the, what was the sign of, hey, I need to drop out, just go all in on acting? Something happened, or?
I never, so I dropped out of school to do film.
Okay.
So I went to Bard College, and it was very liberal arts, sort of avant-garde film department. It was all very precious. And so you read these highfalutin books, and you critique, the different genres of film, and watch all these avant-garde movies. And it was, intellectually interesting, but I wanted to make film.
Yeah, here we go.
You should, mind your own business.
You're like the second or third dog that has now been on this show.
Yeah, so I realized, I didn't want to spend all this money for these people to tell me what to think, how to think. They would basically read this book, and then here's a camera, go make a film, and then bring it back and we'll critique it. It's like, I don't need to pay you to read a book and to make a movie and to critique. I can do that with my friends.
Yeah.
And I realized it's like, with the amount of money that I was spending at this school, I could just go make a movie. Or I could just get out there and stumble through it. So that's what I did. I just dropped out and started making movies.
What was the first movie you made?
I made a documentary about finding my estranged father.
And you do all of this just comes from straight up here? I mean, you just...
Yeah, I mean, you watch films and you just emulate and you reflect what you see. I mean, I think everybody in this day and age has a default education in filmmaking. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows what a close-up is and what a reverse angle is, and it's not like it's no longer a mystery. It's no longer reserved to the few educated people. Like, everybody knows how to make content, and people, I would argue, know how to make more interesting, more compelling content than I do, because they're out there making, million, trillion view TikTok content.
That's true. It's a great point. I think there's probably something here, and I'd like for you to direct it for me. I think there's something here on the agriculture, farming space, of telling you the story of, the truth behind who the farmers. And there's some out there, right? There's some content pieces out there.
Oh, there's Earth Speed.
There's Earth. That's true. That's a great point on that.
Yeah. I mean, I really do think that it's like music. I always loved playing music, and I always thought, there's a part of me that thought I'd make it as a rock star. And you have this fantasy of what a rock star is. Oh, you were famous and you make a lot of money and you fly around in private planes, right? You're cool.
Yeah.
And, you throw TVs out of hotel room windows or something.
You made us think that, Adrian. That was you. You made us think it was cool to be Vinny Chase. I want you to know that.
For example, right? Like, it's a certain thing if you're a famous actor. But what does it mean to just be a working actor? What does it mean to just have the luxury of being able to play music for your life and not necessarily make it, but you're enjoying the process? And I think the same is with content. Everybody knows how to make content. So are you looking to make money and make a living at it? Or are you just contributing into the well, this sort of reciprocal exchange of ideas and information? It's like this ongoing conversation. I learned so much, especially, off being on the land, learning how to farm. I learned from other farmers who have created content. I learned how to fix things. Who does it, right? Online.
Yeah.
YouTube is my university. So why wouldn't I contribute back into that well of wisdom and information so that others might learn from me? So I'm not necessarily looking to make a living at it. It's not going to be my career as a YouTuber. I'm doing it as a mitzvah, as like it's a everyday contribution to your community, to be able to say, hey, look, this is what I learned, just in case it helps you out. Because thank you for helping me out on that other thing.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So going back a little bit, you said that you truly thought you were going to be a rock star one day. Music was very heavy in your life. Why? What happened that you kind of put down the instrument and just...
I mean, you have to have a certain amount of confidence to do it, right? To believe in yourself enough.
You can't tell me that you did not have the confidence.
No, I did.
Okay, yeah. But what happened?
But it was at a certain point, confidence becomes delusion.
That's a great point.
I was good, but not that good.
Yeah.
You know? And then it wasn't until later I started actually, I started an artist-run label, and I started working with other bands and managed a band or two. And then, like, I was the older, like, ex-musician, you know, who's like sort of who gave up on my dreams, but I was sort of supporting these youngsters as you know, Papa manager. And I would always just tell them, you know, it's like, either you're good or you're great. It's like, and what do you want to be? You want to be good or you want to be great? And I can't, only you're the creative, so you're the one who's going to have to bring greatness. And I was always mediocre, so of course I wasn't going to make it. And I had to sort of come to terms with that.
And because you were in a band, correct?
Yeah.
What was the band called?
I guess the last band I was in was called the Honey Brothers.
That's what it was. Now, were you like the lead guy? Were you singing?
I mean, I sang through. We switched around to some degree, but no, I was mainly, I played drums, and I'd come in and play some guitar and bass here and there.
Just get after it. And then on the acting side, do you remember, what was your first audition like?
Well, so you asked, I left college to do film, but that wasn't paying the bills. And I realized that I could probably make one of my acting. So I finally started to apply myself in acting, because before then I was not really motivated and blowing off auditions, and yeah, my heart wasn't in it. And then finally I said, you know, I'm going to give it a whirl. So I went out and I really worked at it, and I essentially landed the first job I auditioned for, which was an indie film called The Adventures of Sebastian Cole. And it's amazing what happened when you put your mind to something, right?
Yeah, no kidding. That's fantastic. And then at what point, so you were, and you're telling me you were never in LA other than for, like, job. Like, you didn't...
I had been to LA a couple times.
Okay.
But briefly. And then I was actually on my way to Mexico to go to sneak into Cuba to make a documentary about Cuban hip hop. And because I was big into doc films, and I had about $1,000 to my name. I was broke, but I knew I could make it stretch in Cuba, and I could go there. I could film all this content, go back to Brooklyn, and then figure out how I was going to raise the money to edit it. And as soon as one of those,
yeah,
you're piecemealing things together, and you're just
trying to see what works.
You're just making it work, right? And so while I was in Mexico, and this is before cell phones, I had to go to the internet cafe, dial up, the whole thing. My agent emailed me. He's like, you should look at this show called Entourage. And I was like, no, I'm busy. I'm going to Cuba. I'm making a film. Like, maybe catch me on the next one. And then, like, a couple days later, no, I really think you should. I was like, what is it? HBO? No, I was like, I don't do TV. And a couple days later, because there's like a delay. Before you had your phone, you could just email back and forth or text or call Zoom. Before, it was like the days would go by before you made it back to the internet cafe. So this was over like a 2-week period, 3-week period, every few days. He's like, no, seriously, I really, really think you're right for this. It's not TV, it's HBO, like, come on, fucking get your head out of your ass. Yeah. And then finally he's like, call me. Then I had to go get one of those cards. You go to the phone, you put in like 1,000 numbers, call international. And he's like, listen, let me just say, ultimatum. Either you come do this or you find another agent, because I can't help you bet. Like, you're you never come to any of the auditions. You're always blowing them off. I ended up going to LA, and that was the first time I was in LA for longer than, a few days. And then I got the part that changed my life, and then I was there quite a lot.
Hey y'all, it's Pat with Like a Farmer. Are you looking to add some local flavors to your recipes? Well, visit freshfromflorida.com today, where you can browse hundreds of delicious recipes that bring Florida freshness to your table all year round. Become a Fresh from Florida member for free and create your own menus. Save and send your favorite dishes and get exclusive access to monthly newsletters packed with fresh local recipes. I can promise you, you will be a favorite in your neighborhood. From the Florida fields to your fork, year-round freshness and flavor are just a logo away. Fresh from Florida, there's a sunshine in every bite. Hey y'all, today's episode is brought to you by AgAmerica, your go-to financial partner for all things agriculture. As the largest independent financial firm dedicated to rural America, AgAmerica is changing the game when it comes to ag lending and leveling up finance options for farmers, ranchers, and landowners across the nation. And I'll let you know the secret. The thing that sets this company apart from the rest is the people. They understand firsthand the unique needs of American farmers and ranchers because many of them grew up on farms themselves. They take a farmer-focused approach to finance, prioritizing relationships over transactions to help you build a stronger financial foundation for you and your family. So whether you're looking to buy land or secure working capital, AgAmerica has your back. Visit AgAmerica.com today to learn more and see how they can help you achieve long-term financial success. Because when farmers thrive, we all do.
Dude, think about having $900 in your bank account and then becoming Vinny Chase. That is fan. That's a really cool story. I mean, that really is.
Well, the funny thing is, so my agent was the first one to call me Vince, right? Because I wasn't Vince until that moment, and he had been on the phone with the studio or whoever, and they gave me the part.
And you had no part into the storytelling of Entourage, correct? I mean, you were just
no. I mean, it was. They were pulling from our real life, our personal stories, pulling and adding them into the characters, and then also pulling from what was out there in Hollywood, adding that into the storyline. And a lot of Vincent Chase was my sort of my vibe, my personality, stories that when Vince goes down to Mexico, that's comes from when I was in Mexico, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, they use the stories and they embellish.
I mean, did you have a real life Entourage, or
no? That's based on Mark Wahlberg. So the larger theme based on Mark Wahlberg. I play the Mark Wahlberg character, and then all the other characters are based on characters in his line.
Do you still hang out with any of those guys to this day?
So I do talk to the core group.
Like does Ari Gold ever just call you?
Yeah. No, I don't talk to Jeremy much, but the two Kevins and Jerry, we're all fathers now, so now we talk about raising our kids.
Wow, you're talking about a 180.
Yeah.
That leads me into the next. We have a game on this show. It's called This or That. Okay, This or That, presented by Blue Otter Polarized. These sunglasses right here. Always rocking.
Are those mine now?
Now you got the Tacovas.
I'm Vinny Chase, bro. Come on.
I'm gonna say, hey, this or that. You just whatever comes to the top of your mind. Okay. As a person, as a character, do you go on E or Johnny Drama?
Am I going E?
Yeah, like who do you like more on the show, E or Johnny Drama?
Well, look, Johnny's my brother.
You gotta go.
Family.
Gotta go. Okay. Let's go that silly on that. Would you rather be, I'm going to know this now after talking to you for half an hour. Would you rather be an actor or a director?
Farmer.
Yeah. I need Pam to say that. Hell yeah. I love that.
Am I going to get paid for this?
New York City or Austin, Texas?
Say Austin.
Yeah. You just
I love him stealing. I was there the other day. I went to pick up my mom. She came to spend some time with her grandkid, and it's intense there. Just that traffic from JFK to the city, I was like, I got to get home. I got to get out to the land. It's just too much.
What happened? Because you've hit on it multiple times now, and I love this about you. Like, what happened that just basically said, listen, from acting to the city to LA to everything, like, I want to be outdoors. I want to be on the farm. Like, was there any part of your life that just something specific happened for you to say, hey, I'm done. I'm going out to the farm?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely on the wrong path. I was on a very narcissistic, vapid, selfish, hedonistic path that was very enjoyable, but yielded nothing but, a wake of destruction. I mean, to get clean or to grow the fuck up, there's I have this on my phone for a long time, just as a reminder. That's disco.
That's disco? Oh, yeah, there he is. Do you have a name for all the animals here?
Disco's the white donkey.
Yep. What about the goat? What's the goat's name?
That's Sia. Sia's the one in the one from at a distance, and then Senna is the one closest.
How to let that? There you go. See, that's gotcha.
And then that's Tallulah, the pig. So
On your phone, you've had it for a while. Sorry.
yeah, no. So when I was in my transformation, my catabasis, they call it, the dark night of the soul, I realized that I had to wake up, roll up, clean up. So I was really good at the escape part. I had it all figured out, and it wasn't until I had a big heartbreak that I was awakened, and I realized, man, I need to make some major changes. So I had to extract myself from all the things that I had designed. I basically had designed my life to escape and to indulge and to get those dopamine hits. I was brunching and partying and flying around the world and sex, drugs, and round and home. And where I found my spiritual center, it was just a matter of, okay, so, how do I serve? And then I realized, okay, I have a lot to offer. And if I put in the work, I put in time, then I can actually fulfill my dharma, why I came to this planet, to have a family, have children, and then to give them the life that I never got.
Damn, that was deep. Like, from when we pulled up to the farm and, like, how you've been as a partner, as a dad. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to meet the family now today, which is awesome. Like, you're locked in, and it looks good on you. I'm not going to lie. Like, I could tell that's what you're passionate about, and that's one of the most important things, like, to you is your family, and that's really cool to see.
Nature is far too complex and diverse and rich of a system for humans to get a grasp on realistically. And you said you found me intuitive, and I appreciate that, but I do believe that, who they say, man makes a plan and God laughs. I think that if we don't get into a rhythm and into an intuitive relationship with the earth, and we're working and listening, more so listening and being in service to nature's design wisdom and its complexity, and humbly being totally in service, humbly to what it is, it will win every time. It'll always serve itself ultimately. And we have a problem. We want to impose our will, and we want to sort of dictate the way nature should be and how it should be. So it's almost this imperialist mentality where we're going to come in and fix things. It's like that's the savior complex. We're going to come in and fix the earth, fix nature the way it's supposed to be. But we have all these grandiose solutions that we want to pose. And I suggest, and this is a long-winded way of just saying, we have to first get to know the earth directly, like with our own experience. There has to be a felt experience on what it means to be in nature. And in permaculture, which as I've been trained in permaculture, it's the first principle is to observe and interact, where you're actually getting to know what nature wants and what it needs and how it naturally wants to go and flow, so that you can work with it as opposed to imposing your vision without regard to nature itself. And we do that. I mean, we put up high rises right in flood zones, and we build right on coastlines. Yeah, and whereas maybe there won't be an event for 10 years, 15 years, but eventually there will be a weather event that will laugh at your plan. And, they will say, you didn't think about this, did you? And so while I do believe that we are having a great effect on the earth, the solution isn't more arrogant, imposition. It's actually more of a humble learning. And that's what I think I'm doing here, is I'm just trying to learn and serve as opposed to impose. That's why we haven't done anything. I told you we have a laboratory. We have a small piece of land. We're just making mistakes all day long. For 2-3 years, we've been trying things that haven't worked. And we haven't spent millions of dollars to do a whole property. We've just done a little piece of land. And now I'm starting to get a sense of what works here. Earthspeed is my channel, YouTube channel, and it's a lifestyle in the cadence of nature. So I'm basically sharing my learnings from this process, interviewing people I come across, people that I think are my mentors, my teachers, and just sharing concepts and ideas of what it means to live closer to nature, more in community. Sort of the spiritual aspect, the lifestyle aspect, that's the familiar aspect of living a life in the rhythm of the earth.
Now, would you say when you're building out this channel and your plan for this channel, is it for everybody, or is it for people that are in this space, or is it for people that are actively maybe searching to get in this space, or is it a mixture of both?
I mean, I think it's everybody, but we're not teaching people practical things you can do, how you can start your own home garden on a windowsill and, in a high rise. That's not, how to compost in your apartment with a gadget. I've done that sustainability stuff in the past. Like, I really do believe it's a lifestyle change, like a full-blown get out of the city, fine. And everyone's like, well, not everybody can live unless, no, you can. You can figure out a way to be, I do believe that, you can move in, there's woofing, right? If you want to do, there's woofing, and every hard choice comes with risk. I haven't made $1 in, a long time, so I'm blessed enough to have been able to make this investment from my previous lifestyle. But it's not without risk. I could be living a much more opulent lifestyle had I not done this, right? So it's just a matter, and I'm always looking for people to come support this. There are other people that need your support. So I don't buy it that it's not possible for everybody.
I'm with you.
There's so much land. People need help.
There is so much land, but you're not making any more of it. And you do have to understand, I mean, look, I come from a 7-generation citrus cacao family back home. And what we are seeing today is, whether it's corporate America, Bill Gates, whoever you want it to be, I mean, they are taking out these family farming operations because you just can't afford it anymore. I mean, as inputs go up, values go up, mean, it's hard, and it's not like you're making a ton of money as a cattle farmer or as a citrus farmer. Like, you're getting outpriced, and that's why you start seeing corporate America coming in and buying all the real estate.
Oh, well, become a corporate guy, or you're working in an ad agency. I'm sorry. It's like, if it's not possible, then I'm sorry. Oh, well.
Good point.
Or you recognize that our corporations, our government are designing the world not to serve you or nature or your best interest. And so how can we work together to not, everyone wants to protest everything, right? You can get in March and hold a sign. It's like, no, go design and create something that'll replace the old system. And it's not going to be easy, and you may fail, but we're entrepreneurs as a culture. Like, as a culture, we have an innovative spirit. So I'm not just living this because it's easy. I'm living this because I think it's the right thing to do. And I'm hoping that I can maybe solve for something that will undermine, our current corporate greed and, to sort of the monopoly on our food system, and create a different option for people and for me and my family. And when my son grows up and he's going to say, Dad, what did you do about, all of the unhealthy food out there, or the pesticides, or what did you do about it? I'm like, well, I did this. And if it fails, then at least I tried, because my son deserves at least all my effort.
God, I love that. And I'm telling you, I think that this itself and what you're doing and what you used to do, you're starting a whole new life. I mean, this is I'm going to say chapter 2. You might have had a few more chapters in between. But that, in my opinion, is a movie. Like, you've got this guy who's Vinny Chase, who's L.A. and this and that, and now you're a farmer now. I mean, you are a farmer. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm working on it. It's not a static thing. It's not something you just become and then
For sure, yeah.
you're always learning. I would say I don't know anything, but then you ask me something and I know a couple things, right?
100%.
So I'm like, holy shit, like, how did I knew that? Like, wow. So I surprised myself. But yet at the same time, I'm always learning. Just, how do you do that? How do you do that? Because there's so much to learn. That's what's so engaging and enriching. It's fulfilling about it. It's just, and you're never finished.
You're not.
No, that's not something you just complete. Every season, it's a new something.
Yeah, new challenge, adversity, or you're dealing with a policy change, right?
You have a weather event. And all your plans are, out the window.
Correct. What you're doing right now, do you remember a project that you worked on in the film that was this hard, or just one film that you said, man, this is a huge ordeal that I'm overtaking? There's a lot of, like, stress and kind of your time and resources that you have to put into this film project to make it perfect. Can you think of one?
I think about the celebrity lifestyle, the acting experience, it's so abstract. And it's very self-centered. You're sort of, you don't quite know what to make of it. Is it going to be, is it good? Is it going to be good? Is it bad? Am I good? Do they like? That's your whole experience. Am I worthy? Oh, they're all like applauding me, but I don't feel like I love myself. Oh, but I just got a big check, so I must be okay. Well, let me just go blow it on drinks. Like it's such a psychological, neurotic experience just by default. Which is, I think, much different than if you were in a regional theater. If you were doing a off-Broadway play and people didn't know your name, but you did a really great, performance, and you really believed in the work, and you believed in the message or something. When you're doing it as a business, it's a whole mind fuck. And the industry, they all know that. And they know that there's another one of you, like, on a bus coming from, the Midwest tomorrow. So play our game. We'll pay you well. We'll give you all the luxuries and the indulgences and a fuckload of swag. but you act in our films, and you dance for us. And And so you don't really own your soul in some level. You know, a lot of people are talking about, you know, it's like Hollywood's a bunch of devil worshippers and all that. I mean, it's not really like that, but it's symbolically kind of like that, where you sold your soul for something. Here on the land, I work harder than I ever have worked. I mean, people don't give me craft services here, you know? I'm not like waking up and then like getting hair and makeup so that I look good, and then like I take a nap in my trailer and then I go shoot a scene, you know?
There's no DJ set by the pool or like ladies laying around. I was expecting like, damn, we're about to have a party.
It's never does that happen here. I work harder than I've ever worked, but it never feels like it's too much, because it's deeply rewarding and fulfilling, and it's not abstract. Like, it's connected to something immediate that I experience. When I, you know, when I move dirt, when I move earth, I sweat, you know, I get calluses, but I move, like, you see it, like, oh, now I've shaped the earth and I created a berm that's now holding the water back and charging the land with the moisture so that the microbes can eat.
Like, you just accomplished something.
Yeah, and I can see it. You know, it's right there. And I go, look, I did that. I gotta tell you, like, so one of the farmers who I bought this land from, he's an older guy, right? He's sort of waddles because he's, you know, very, very old. And I just wanted to learn about the land, so I got them to sort of walk me through and tell me about the history here. It was like, for them. And there was this old garden bed, and he's like, oh, I used to have artichokes right there. And he's like kind of walls over to it. He goes, I did that. He just sort of quietly said it to himself. I did that. And it's like we weren't even there. It was just him reminiscing that like he had built this garden bed with these artichokes. And he was just like still holding on to the pride of that, you know. And I was like, oh, dude, that's so good. Yeah.
That is awesome. One thing you would say to the farmers today, what would you say to them?
Thank you. God bless, man. I wish I could come meet you, and I wish I could give you a hand, because I know you're working hard. And yeah, I would just hope that we can figure out as a society how to honor you better and elevate you to the status that you deserve. Because, you know, right now celebrities and Vinny Chases of the world get all the accolades and all the recognition, but it's really you. You're the true stars. You guys are growing our food and keeping us fed and healthy. So, thank you.
Mic drop. I appreciate you coming on the show today, man.
Yeah, glad to be here.
I really do. And as always, I appreciate y'all tuning in every single Wednesday. A new episode of Like a Farmer, powered by AgAmerica Media. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do to be like a farmer.